Yeah. Gotta keep the hater-proof glasses still on. Gotta still be wary of the delusions. But 5-1. 5-1. 5-1 against a terrible Eintracht Frankfurt team. What I wanted to see, a convincing result. No blood pressure settings, no clenched butthole settings, no worry settings. Calm, cool, collected. Confidence. This is what I wanted to take away from the game. Confidence, calma, chill, vibes, hanging out, not really stressing. Once the 40th minute hit, there was no stressing in this game. None. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to lose your head over. There was nothing to harp on. I do think, though, that there is a stark contrast between the first 30 and the final 70. On the day, we benefited from the fact that the first 30 minutes didn't punish us. And they didn't punish us because the team we were playing was exceptionally poor. So we can be positive, but at the same time, we can also be realistic. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to highlight positivities that we can pull from this game. I'm also going to be realistic and pragmatic. And I'm going to look at both ends. I'm going to look at both sides of the sword here. Because the first 25 minutes, I was not happy. I was not happy. I was not happy with that first 25 minutes. But I was really happy with that final 70 minutes. Very, very happy. Up until McAllister and Salah got on the pitch. When McAllister and Salah showed up, I started to become unhappy. But there were a lot of points where I was very happy. That's not what I said. I'm just highlighting the fact that we played a very out-of-form team. Still, excellent performance. Jones was exceptional. What Curtis Jones told me was, I am your starting midfielder. McAllister cannot start versus Brentford. Cannot. Has to be Curtis Jones. Now, very unfortunate that Frimpong found himself injured and had to come off the pitch. It was good to see him on the bench, which means that he wasn't being worked on by the physios. But whatever he felt, I need him to recover quickly because I love what I see from him. But let's break this down stage by stage. Let's go through the game stage by stage. Isak is not injured. Isak's not injured. Let's go through this stage by stage. At least I don't think he is. To me, first 10 minutes of the game, Frankfurt are perfectly content with holding the ball at the back. Frankfurt are fine playing slow football, build up, U-ball. Liverpool pressing in a 4-4-2. Liverpool really just occupying spaces. They're not going man-for-man press the first 10 minutes. We're just filling the channels. Vigo, calm down. First 10 minutes of the game, pressing 4-4-2, whatever. The possession that we would get, because it wasn't until like the 10th minute where Liverpool finally started to have some possession, see some of the ball, and really hold control in the second half of the pitch. The structure there was horrendous from minute 10 to minute 25. Not strong at all. for that 15-minute period. A lot of it based around the fact that Frankfurt decided to do exactly what Manchester United did. Frankfurt stuck 5 in the middle. They basically played 5-4-1 when we had possession. And they clogged the middle of the park. And they forced us to constantly go wide to Cody Gakpo or Florian Wirtz. Cody Gakpo or Florian Wirtz would get the ball, find themselves in a one-on-one versus the fullback, but have 20 yards in between them and the guy who the ball needed to go to in a progressive position. I think that when Isak was on the pitch, Isak, Wirtz, and Ekitike, or Isak, Ekitike, and Gakpo, they were always occupying the same zone. They were always in the same spot. This is what I mean. I can't wait for people to call me tactical, but it's just so much easier to talk about things when I can just show you. Like, this was basically what we were seeing for the first 25 to 30 minutes of this game. This was how our structure looked, especially once we went 1-0 down. You saw Frankfurt very clearly pack the middle. And constantly, I would find our front three chilling here together. Cody Gakpo had a lot of freedom over here, but the issue is that Cody Gakpo had nowhere to go. The only option Gakpo would have consistently would be to try to put it in the box. Now, there was one moment where Dominik Szoboszlai picked the ball up here, and Isak found himself in a channel and got a one-on-one. Goalkeeper did very well to close him down. He tries to chip the keeper. It is what it is. But for the most part, the center of the park was packed. We were building up with 2. And there was always 5 guys in between the ball and where it needed to go, our front line. But that all changed when Liverpool scored. Now, how do Liverpool score? Liverpool score because Frankfurt mess up an attack. Frankfurt finds space in behind, down our right-hand channel. Guy plays across the box. No one's home. Robertson finds the ball. What does Andrew Robertson do? First time, kicks it long. Ekitike is in space. Ekitike finds the ball. Ekitike makes a brilliant run on his own. Travels maybe 50 yards. Slots it in. It's 1-1. That's not a result of how we were playing. That's not a result of the system. That's a result of Frankfurt messing up an attack and Robertson being keen and playing it first time. Excellent individual plays from Andrew Robertson and Hugo Ekitike. After the game goes 1-1, we continue to do the same thing. But we've just scored, and now Frankfurt's confidence is gone a little bit. We continue to pile on the pressure by continuously feeding the ball to Gakpo and Florian Wirtz. Gakpo starts to get a little bit more aggressive. Gakpo starts driving more. Gakpo starts going for the byline more, which leads to more corners because the crosses are getting blocked. First wave of our corners, poor. Poor delivery, poor outcome. Always finding a Frankfurt player with no one around. But Gakpo finally delivers one to the front post, and unchallenged, Van Dijk puts it in. It's 2-1. Fast forward a little bit. Alexander Isak finds himself, I believe after Isak shot to the near post when the ball was going away from him, it went to a right side corner. Dominik Szoboszlai provides it. Again, same exact goal, opposite side. Near post, isolated big center back, goal. Carbon copies. Konate's goal is the same exact goal that Virgil van Dijk scored. Near post, unchallenged. 3-1, half ends. 3 out of 10 performance in terms of our structure offensively. Did well to capitalize on corner kicks. Andrew Robertson, brilliant pass. Overall play, poor. Second half. We changed the structure a little bit. Our double pivot is actually staying around the center circle. The front five is compressing. They're moving more off the ball. We're creating more triangles. We're not allowing a midfield block of five to completely obstruct us. All of a sudden, we just start firing right out the gate. Liverpool begin to cook. And we cooked for the next 45 minutes. Florian Wirtz gets 2 assists. Should have probably had some more. Mohamed Salah finds himself in an opportunity. Doesn't square it. I think the second half we looked how I've been wanting to see us all season. First half, senior living facility. Second half, actual fucking football. First half was just walking settings. If you were watching off the ball, everyone was just walking, slow, lethargic, walk. Second half, everyone's moving, everyone's bouncing, everyone's making runs, everyone's finding space. We're playing ping pong football. I don't know what that means. Is this the methodical Mike portion of cast? I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't know. You're gonna have to explain what you're trying to say. So I saw a change in how we played, and the change began with the off-ball movement and the structure. Now, Isak not being there, maybe it benefited. I saw Ekitike winning duels. I saw a counter press because we were structurally compact. I saw the team having the ability to counter press. Exceptional. Fantastic. What I've been yearning to see is a counter press because we're more compact. We probably could have scored more. Mohamed Salah had himself a run that Szoboszlai provided him where Mo didn't actually stay on side. If Mo stays on side, Mo's in on goal one-on-one. Mo found himself in an opportunity where he's in a one-on-one and he easily could have played Curtis Jones, but he's selfish. He takes the shot. I thought that when McAllister and Mohamed Salah came on the pitch, we lost a little bit of that offensive control and we just stopped going for it. McAllister is constantly just chilling in the position of the number 9 and not getting himself involved in the build-up. Either way, second half is the kind of football I need to see. I don't care who we played. It's the principle of the structure that I care about. It's the way we moved. It's the way we played. That's what excites me. Szoboszlai's goal, very well taken. But 5 minutes before, Szoboszlai found himself in the box. Got to pull the trigger. I need Szoboszlai to shoot a little bit more. He's always looking for the pass. Habibi, shoot. Chiesa was unlucky to not hit the target on his overhead kick. But overall, solid. Second half, 9 out of 10. Not even a question. 9 out of 10. But we can't overlook the fact that when the game went 2-1, a minute later, Eintracht Frankfurt find themselves once again in behind Connor Bradley. Ball goes, no, I'm sorry. It actually wasn't in behind Connor Bradley. I believe it went the other end. Either way, they find themselves right in front of the goal. Connor Bradley makes the block. Connor Bradley's not there. It's 2-2. So well done on him. I said while we were doing the watch along that people are going to look at that first goal and they're going to blame Andrew Robertson, and they're going to blame Connor Bradley. What they're not going to do is talk about why did Florian Wirtz feel the need to try to go for a one-on-one. What no one is going to sit here and talk about is why did Florian Wirtz's first half performance look identical to every single Mohamed Salah performance this season in that same position? Florian Wirtz's first half was his best impression of Mo Salah in 2025. Constantly getting the ball, constantly have nothing to do with it, constantly passing back, or trying to take on his man and losing. Second half, when Florian Wirtz is asked to play in the fucking position that he was bought to play in, oh my God. You're telling me that if you provide moving options to Florian Wirtz, he can create space and get assists? I didn't think that's what I paid $115 for. But I'm glad I know now. In the second half, Wirtz was feeling himself and balling out. In the first half, he wasn't because he was being put in the right. We were running a 4-4-2 in that first half. Wirtz was occupying the right-sided midfielder position. We'd constantly get him the ball, and he'd constantly have nothing to do with it. First half. Second half, Florian Wirtz stops doing that. Florian Wirtz plays as the central midfielder that we bought him to be, and Florian Wirtz is doing his thing, balling out, eating up space, fucking rotating all over the pitch, setting up opportunities. Two different halves, Bones. Two different halves. Regardless, I think that what are our major takeaways here? Number one, Florian Wirtz has to play every game. And he has to play in a central midfield role. That's done. That's it. Bones, go back and watch Eintracht Frankfurt's goal. Tell me that. Wirtz has to play in the central midfield position every week. Takeaway number two, Konate's not shit. Takeaway number three, good things happen when you play a right back at right back. Number four, Mo Salah cannot start against Brentford. Number five, Alexis McAllister cannot start against Brentford. Number six, Curtis Jones is a Liverpool starter. Every game that he's fit, I need him. Because he is occupying the space I need to be occupied. Curtis Jones is taking up the center circle. Now, towards the end, we actually were building up with a box four and two wing backs. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but essentially the center backs were Robertson, Virgil, and Joe Gomez. Directly in front was Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz. To the left, Curtis Jones was occupying like a wingback role, and to the right, Connor Bradley was occupying a wingback role. We had so much control because we had so many options. The fullbacks were not inverting. They were essentially wingbacks. And they were constantly involved in the attacks. The main difference in that second half is that we actually had our double pivot at the center circle, and the front four was moving to present themselves as options. Anyone can play bad. Anyone can be shit. Right now, Mo Salah is shit. He doesn't score when he gets opportunities. He doesn't pass when he should pass. He doesn't track back. Not even to defend. He doesn't track back to help build up. Just nothing. Big zeros everywhere. I don't need him right now. And that first 30 minutes of that second half proves that I don't need him. At the current moment. In the first half, yes. In the second half, no. First half looked a lot like this, right? Second half, way different. Second half, everyone here was moving. Second half, it was way more compact. Second half, I had guys finding the channels in between the 5 that Frankfurt set up. Second half, I saw 1-2s. I saw triangles. I saw build-up. First half, I saw vagina ball. Saw a big fucking hole right here. Second half, totally different. If we start the game against Brentford the way that we finished the game against Frankfurt, let's go. I'm happy. Let's do it. 100%. Run it back. Give me that same fluidity. Give me that same off-ball movement. That's what I need to see. I need to see the hustle. That's what Curtis Jones provided. That's what Chiesa provided. That's what Ekitike provided. Not to mention, every time one of those guys lost the ball in the second half, Frankfurt couldn't get out of their own half because we were so compact. The press was working because the offensive structure was solid. And because the offensive structure was solid, the counter press was effective. And because the counter press was effective, Frankfurt made mistakes. Because they made mistakes, how many fucking offensive zone throw-ins did we have? 15, 20? Those don't happen without a counter press. You get it. All I'm saying is that whoever is occupying that right-sided midfield, right-sided winger position, whether it's Frimpong, Wirtz, or Mohamed Salah, everyone who has occupied that space has not been effective. And that's because of the options that that person has around them. Simple. If the midfield moves, you can progress. If you can progress, you can create chances. If you can create chances, you can score goals. That's what the second half was. Now, I don't expect every week to have a first half where I get 8 corners and I score 2 of them. I just don't. The deliveries were excellent. And the finishes were what I want. I want my big man at the near post. That's it. So, not a great first half. In fact, a poor first half with a great result. And then an amazing second half with a great result. Scored 2 set-piece goals, 3 open play goals. Could have scored more than 3 open play goals. We conceded 1 open play goal. Fair shot to Christensen, who did his best impression of Marcelo. And we created 1 other truly dangerous open play opportunity. You're allowed to disagree, Bones. You're allowed to disagree. But you can't underemphasize the difference in structure. I don't know if you guys were watching Off the Ball in the first half. And I don't know if Isak is like the main culprit, but everyone just loves to walk. They love to just stroll. They love to just stroll around. Take a breeze. Take a chill pill. Hang out. Second he comes off the pitch, things change. Crisis is not fucking over, bro. One game does not rectify everything. I have to see consistency. I have to see sustainability. Yeah, see, you're able to take my words, digest them, and understand what I'm saying. You get it. You get it. You get it. The difference is I can't have a bad first 20 to 30 minutes every week. So going forward, there was 100% a crisis. In the first 5 games, we were 13 minutes away from being a mid-table side. So yes, there was a crisis. While we keep on our delusion-proof glasses. I hear you. Regardless, I'm still at like DEFCON 3. We've gone back. It's not global thermonuclear war anymore. But guard's not down. Guard's not down. Because to me, I got to see that second half performance against the Premier League side, especially a side that constantly gives me trouble like Brentford does. Never have an easy game against them. Maybe scoreline wise, but not the actual game wise. I remember Darwin Núñez's double last season, so not always a great game. But overall, we have to take this second half performance and we got to just slot it right in, no pun intended, to the game against Brentford. I need to see Curtis Jones against Brentford. I need to see Ekitike against Brentford. I need to see Florian Wirtz against Brentford. And I cannot see Mohamed Salah in the first half. I cannot see Alexis McAllister on the pitch unless I have a 2-goal lead. Because I had a 4-goal lead when McAllister showed up, and I looked worse. The guy just doesn't show for the ball. I don't know what it is with him. See, you get it, bro. I'm not busting my load so quick. I'm not home and free. I'm not far, far away. I haven't fully traveled the yellow brick road. It's still raining. It's just not a hurricane, right? If I go outside, I'm still going to get wet. But I'm probably not going to die. I'm trying to get to the point where it's sunshine, where it's like LA. There's not a fucking cloud in the sky. It's sunny. It's nice. He fucking better. He fucking better, PE. He better. I'm just not an optimistic person. So you're a glass half full. I'm a glass half empty. Low-key, do you think the 4-4-2 is the way to go forward? I don't think that Wirtz looked insane on the right. I think that Wirtz looked great in the second half because he was given freedom and because he was given options. When Wirtz was creating in the second half, it wasn't off either side. It was really from central positions, and he had players to work off of. That's why he looked so good in that second half. He did drift left. He did drift right. But in the first half, he basically just played in that right-handed position. And he didn't look good. He looked exactly like Mo does. There was no real difference between that first half performance of Florian Wirtz and every performance I've seen from Mohamed Salah. I do like the 4-4-2 though. I didn't dislike it. I just thought that the midfield structure was off in build-up. And we changed that in the second half. Hearing that Isak is out with groin injury. Let's look. Let's take a look. I realized that so many other people go live after a game. I was like, fuck. Bro. Fucking criminal. What an asshole to shoot that from that tight-ass angle. That's such a low percentage shot. What a fucking dick. Fucking square it. Square it. I don't care who that is here. Square it. Either way. What a fucking dick. Big up to Asim here. Notice, this was the beginning of the game, right? And we were perfectly content with allowing Eintracht Frankfurt to just pass it around here, which is all they did. They were moving it super slow. They were passing it around on a giant U. This was great. This provided some sort of solidity, some structure. I was happy with this. More of this in the Premier League. No 4-2-4 bullshit. Anyway, I need to type in Isak so I can see if he's hurt. Alexander Isak had to be subbed off due to discomfort he felt in his groin. Let's hope it's not too bad. It's such a difficult balance to find with a player that missed 3 months. Well, we were up 3-1 at that point, so if there was ever a time to take him off, it was then. Chama, Kronos. We're not blowing our lid. We're not blowing our lid with positivity or negativity. We're going to view it pragmatically. We're going to view it logically, and we'll view it with reason. As the woke crowd would say, we're going to stay grounded. We're going to stay grounded. Jacob took a screenshot of me. What the fuck? Hang on, I got to reply to this. Fuck off, Jacob, you scrub. Go touch Tommy. It did. It did. A lot of the first half was vagina ball. Second half, Deutsch. Deutsch like a tiger. Deutsch like a tiger. Second half, chef's kiss. If I could see second half against first half Brentford, I'll be here, back on board, back on the train, ready to go. Fuck Arsenal. Let's fucking do it. I have to see that implemented, though. I have to see 3 or 4 games of us playing like we did in the second half against Frankfurt. If I can see 3 or 4 games of us playing like that, I'm happy. We're in business. We're ready to go. Pick up yourself. Appreciate you being here. A lot of people do go live. It's not a great time to go live, but fuck it. We don't give a shit. We don't care here. Listen, they are, but we were in exceptionally poor form. And again, I'm not focused on the results. Like, when I look at this game, I'm not looking at 5-1. I'm looking at the way we played in the second half. I don't care who we play. I need to see that structure, that second half structure every game. That's it. That's my positive. That's my positive take. I need to see us play the way and build up the way we played in the second half against every team, and I'm confident that this team will win game after game after game. Forget the 5-1. Forget who we played. Just look at the way we played football. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's my positive from here. The way we played. That's why I'm happy. 5-1, cherry on top. But the whipped cream, the sugary whipped cream on top of the beautiful cake, is the way we played in the second half. Yes, but it doesn't mean that the player doesn't deserve to be dropped for a few games. I'm not saying that he's fucking terrible, but I'm saying that right now he is bad. Right now, he shouldn't be starting games. He needs a kick in the ass. Saba was immense. He was in the second half, especially. First half, I think he was one of the main culprits of slowing things down. But second half, he was great because he stopped slowing things down. Started taking up space, started making off-ball runs, much better. Lucky to limit their chances and create our own. I don't know who you're talking to, Bounce. I know it wasn't some massive shift. That's why every fucking stream I said this isn't rocket science. Every fucking stream I said this is not rocket science. This is a simple fix. You're taking the words out of my mouth. You're committing plagiarism, Bones. You're literally plagiarizing me live in real time on YouTube. This is plagiarism. I said this was such a simple fix that I expected. Well, then you should probably put the at of who you're talking to. Big up, though. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. My man of the match, Curtis Jones, 100%. Man of the match doesn't always have to be a goal scorer. Curtis Jones was just immense. What I wanted and what I needed in the midfield. Second shout, Florian Wirtz. But Curtis Jones, 100%. Actually, let's take a look at what stupid-ass fucking SofaScore has. As we all know, SofaScore fucking blows. Fuck is a Liverpool game? God, SofaScore sucks fucking dick. Who did SofaScore give it to? See, this is fucking insanity. SofaScore gave Curtis Jones a 7.2. What the fuck are you smoking, bro? 7.2 for Curtis Jones? 7.2 for Florian Wirtz? Nah, that's criminal. Curtis Jones deserves a 9. What the rest of the stats say? Liverpool had an XG of 3? The fuck game were you watching? This is why XG is such a stupid stat. Big up. Appreciate you. This is why XG is such a dumb fucking stat. 3.2 XG. But we had 11 big chances. Never ever bring up XG in my face again, because I'll spit it back at you. This team should have scored like 8 fucking goals today. That's why XG is dumb. XG doesn't take into consideration the buildup of something. Fucking lesson here for you. Let's say the opposition defense had 1 person, and let's say I had 5 people running at the 1 person. If a progressive pass isn't made and I turn around and I pass it backwards, that's not a fucking XG. That's dumb. That's dumb. XG doesn't take into account the context of the game. XG is just based on if the ball gets here and a shot's taken. Liverpool had so many opportunities. So many opportunities. Either way, Mamardashvili didn't have to make a single save. Frankfurt only had 4 shots to our 18. 11 big chances. 697 passes. How do you get 700 passes in a game? You tighten up. Liverpool had 10 corners, scored off 2. Are we going to be 20% every week? No, but I'll take it. This is there. Hit the post once. Block 1 shot. Overall, good game. A lot of positives to take away. We need to see the positives implemented into the future. Konate has always been immense. His bozo moments are not a reflection of who he is as a player, and a lot of the times his bozo moments are caused by other players. So I ain't gonna hear no fucking Konate slander. Not here. Konate's my boy. I love me some Konate. What else? Looking forward. Let's look forward. Let's look forward. Liverpool go away to Brentford at the weekend. Following Wednesday, so a week from today, Liverpool will play Crystal Palace at home in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Then we play Aston Villa. Then we play Real Madrid. Then we play Manchester City. Every game from here on out is the most important game of our life. This is a very difficult stretch. I got 2 bogey teams, followed by a team that always seems to show up at Anfield and Aston Villa, followed by Trent coming back home, followed by Manchester City away. And Man City look good. Man City will punish us. Let's not talk about title races, bro. We're 8 games into a Premier League. 30 games left. A lot of fucking football to be played. Looking forward, though. Brentford versus Liverpool at the weekend. Away. I need to see the implementation of this second half on that game. It's a must. No ifs, ands, or buts. I need to see better structure. I need to see Curtis Jones. I need to see Florian Wirtz. Connor Bradley, great shift today. Need to see him starting at right back because Frimpong's not going to be fit. Let's see if Ryan Gravenberch is fit by the weekend. Let's see if Alexander Isak is, but I'm assuming that we're just going to see Ekitike. Unfortunately, though, it is of my opinion that Arne Slot will go with Gakpo, Ekitike, Salah up front. And there's a good chance you're going to see McAllister in midfield, which is just going to drive me fucking insane. What I don't want to see is all of these bright changes that we made today not be implemented on the weekend for the sake of rotation. That's what I don't want to see. Listen, we had a 20% conversion rate from corners today. That's not sustainable. But the deliveries were good. I think the change to the strategy should be near post. Let the big mans eat at the near post. No, I don't think any team that's smart is going to sit back. I think any team that's smart has realized that a low block is not the Achilles heel of this team. It's a mid block. Put 5 in midfield. Basically, this is how you play Liverpool. You take your 2 forwards or 3 forwards, you stick them in midfield when you're defending. No one's hanging at the top. You take your 2 midfielders or your 3 midfielders, you stick them behind your forwards. And then you put 5 at the back. 5-4-1, easy breezy, Portuguese, right? Just pack 5 in the middle, run a mid block, you'll be money. That's the key. I don't think you're going to see a lot of low blocks. If you see low blocks, it'll be towards the end of games. Like towards the end of the United game, we started to see a low block. Towards the end of Crystal Palace, you started to see that. But that's because the legs are going, and in most of those games, the game was either tied or they were winning. So, they're just trying to absorb the pressure, and their legs are tired. But at the beginning of games, you're going to see a lot of mid blocks. That's what you saw for the whole first half. So right now, we have to focus on that. And the way to beat that is to either equal or outnumber them in build-up. So if you got 5 in midfield, I need 5 in build-up, if not 6. In the second half, there were multiple times where Liverpool, even up 5-1, had 7 in our own half. That's what I need to see, because Frankfurt were being very expansive and progressive in their press. I needed more to drop back. I didn't see any of that in the first half, but I did in the second. That's what I need consistently going forward. I need to see 5, 6 guys in our own half trying to build through a press together, not 3 guys trying to fuck 5. Implement the changes that you made. We'll beat Brentford. We'll beat Madrid. We'll beat Crystal Palace. We'll beat City if we play like we did in that second half. I don't care that it was Eintracht Frankfurt. I care about the way we played, the style, and the structure. That can beat everyone. That second half can beat everyone. I know we only scored 2 goals, but it really could have been more. And we didn't really give away shit. Second half. That's what I have to see going forward. I think Slot likes to put him on for his energy against tired legs. I think that's why we don't see him start. I think Slot very much views Federico Chiesa as his Divock Origi. If he has to start because of fitness and health, he will. But for the most part, he's a super sub, which is fine. Just play the guy all the time. Yeah. But again, guys, one game is not a pattern. The next 4 games will establish a pattern. If we play like we did in the second half today, for the next 4 games, we can win this league. We can win the Champions League. But I have to see it in a pattern. Got to be a pattern. Pick up yourself, Imran. Hope I'm saying that correctly. What is my prediction for Brentford? What's my prediction, or what do I hope? I can't predict anything right now. This game ended an hour and a half ago. I can't make any predictions. What I can say is that if we play like we did in the second half, we'll batter Brentford. If we build up with 5, we'll batter any team. If Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, or whoever the double pivot is, occupy... If my pivot occupies these areas, which they were, and guys, I want you to pay attention. Throughout the second half, this is like what our basic build-up structure was. The double pivot was chilling here. Florian Wirtz was finding himself in the spaces here. This is actually Curtis Jones, and this is actually Connor Bradley. So towards the end of that game, Curtis Jones is essentially playing as a wingback, and Connor Bradley is playing as a wingback. They were very high up the pitch, but our double pivot was working in congruency with our back 3, and it was tight and compact. And the front 3 were moving, making runs. Chiesa. Is this 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. You saw fluidity. This is what I need to see. Against Brentford, I need to see whoever my double pivot is. Hopefully it's Curtis Jones and Ryan Gravenberch, or Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai if Gravenberch isn't healthy yet. And they need to occupy these areas. And the back 3 need to be working in congruency. Curtis Jones here, Connor Bradley here, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. That's what I need to see. See that against Brentford, we'll be fine. Because we'll create a shit ton of chances. And if we create a shit ton of chances, it doesn't even matter if we're clinical on the day. We'll win. Again, bro, if I see us play the way that we did against Frankfurt in that second half, consistently, it'll get better. And if it gets better, who the fuck is going to beat us? Also, it's early. It's early. Arsenal could still slip up. I mean, dude, an injury crisis could happen to Liverpool. An injury crisis could happen to Arsenal. Arsenal could hit a bad run of form and just not score goals. There's so many different things that could happen. All I'm going to focus on is us. Just us. One game at a time. Exactly. That's it. One game. You're being facetious. I see you. Either way, exceptional second half performance. A great result. 5-1 against Frankfurt. We'll see what the injuries are. We'll see what the news is. Saturday will be very interesting. You've made the changes. You've applied them. Now continue them and don't revert against Brentford. A big up. I'm going to end it here. Fucking throat's getting sore. Been talking way too much all day. I think he's just tired, bro. I think he's just tired. He'll be all right. He deserved a rest anyway. Plays so much. But big up. Hope you guys all enjoyed the performance. Hope you guys all enjoyed the game. Remember, not about one. It's about a string of games. It's about seeing a pattern. It's about seeing a change in play. We saw it for the second half against Frankfurt. Let's go into that first half against Brentford the same way, and we'll all be happy. All be happy, campers. Big up. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Arnie, for actually making a fucking change.